So it's performance review season again, and even though you did a great job setting up your objectives for the year and you've tracked the data, you're pretty sure that it's going to be a tough review. You're pretty sure that you didn't reach some of the goals and you're going to get some feedback that you maybe don't want to hear. So I'm going to talk about the most important thing to keep in mind in this situation. I'm Jeff LaSalle, I'm your leadership coach, and today we're going to talk about handling a bad performance review. Now by bad, I don't mean bad in inaccurate or bad as in completely arbitrary. I'm assuming that you've done a good job up front of setting your objectives for the year, tracking your true performance, and for whatever reason, you fell short. And so you're expecting to maybe get a little bit hammered. Okay, so what's the most important thing to keep in mind here? Really, one thing that your boss is going to be looking for, especially if this is not a pattern for you, is they're going to be looking for evidence that you are coachable. Okay, what does coachable mean? Coachable means that you're going to take their constructive criticism, feedback on your actual performance. You're going to listen to really understand what they're saying, and then you're going to do something about it and change something. That's being coachable, and that is what is really important coming out of a negative performance review. It's probably the most important thing for a negative performance review. Again, so long as this isn't a trend somehow. What do we have to do in order to show that we're coachable? The most important thing is listening very actively. So when your boss is giving you that bad news, make sure that you're listening and make sure it's obvious that you're listening. You should be looking your boss in the eyes. You should be taking notes. You should be leaning forward and really being attentive with your whole body. You should ask clarifying questions if you're not quite sure. Really think of this as empathetic listening. You're letting your boss paint a picture as to what happened from their perspective and what needs to change. Let them paint the picture. Understand the picture. That's the key part in your performance review, is understanding the feedback. You don't need to respond right now. In fact, I would tell you that the more upset you are, the less you should say right now in your review. Especially if your blood is just boiling, don't say a damn thing. Just accept what's being stated. Say, thank you for the input. I need some time to think about this. And I'll come back to you, boss, and I will tell you what I think of this feedback and what I'm going to do about this feedback. And thank you again for giving me this feedback. That's a very acceptable answer. Probably the best answer, because it shows that you're not just going to be reactionary. You're really going to put some thought into this feedback and do something different about it. Now, when I say you'll come back and talk later, later doesn't mean never. Okay? If you fail to go back to your boss after saying that, then you're not coachable. And that's a key. You need to come across as coachable. A couple days go by, you've put some real thought into this, you've come up with a few action items that you can do to do something different and change the result next year or next time. Then you go back to your boss, have that sit-down conversation one-on-one, and share with them the plan. Ask for their input. Hey, do you think this addresses your concerns? Do you think that this is going to get us there? I think that this is the right path forward. They'll be really appreciative that you're taking their input seriously. Frankly, this is the way to turn a negative performance cycle into a positive for your career. You get points for being coachable, absolutely, for certain. Nobody who is not coachable is ever going to get promoted. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have as much to do with your performance rating as it does with your response to your performance rating, your acceptance of the fact that you can do things differently and better in the future. That is the most important thing to keep in mind when you are anticipating or receiving a negative performance review that is legitimate. Okay, thank you very much. If you'd take a minute and hit that subscribe button down below, we'd really like it, and we'll keep the videos coming.